Welcome everyone to our video. Today we are going to talk about the United Kingdom. The team members are Jose Antonio de León Bolaños, Carlos Eddie Franco Santis, and me, Brian Edgar Dominguez Gonzalez. But before we continue, we are going to explain about our costumes, so you can understand the reason why we are dressed like this.
Regarding to the meaning of the clothes, the origins are uncertain. However, it is said that in 1880 till 1910, miners used to wear white shirts with jackets, black shorts, and a belt which could be from any color in the waist. In addition, they wore their socks with their shoes. This outfit would eventually evolve, and later miners would stop wearing this outfit, and it would become part of a dance which my partner Jose will explain.
Now, the dance was only performed in midwinter and was the major part of a longer performance starting with a short play. The play resembled a mummers play with historical characters, mock executions, and revivals of the dead by doctors. These were meant to symbolize death and rebirth, and such symbolic midwinter rituals were common in much of Northern Europe.
The United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, commonly known as the United Kingdom, UK, is an island country located off the northwestern coast of mainland Europe. The United Kingdom comprises the whole of the island of Great Britain, which contains England, Wales, and Scotland, as well as the northern portion of the island of Ireland. The capital is London, which is among the world's leading commercial, financial, and cultural centers. Now talking about the origins, Wales was formally united with England by the Acts of Union of 1536 and 1542. Scotland ruled from London since 1603. Formally was joined with England and Wales in 1707 to form the United Kingdom of Great Britain. Ireland came under English control during the 16,000 and was formally united with Great Britain through the Act of Union of 18,000. Moving on to the flag, the Union Jack or Union flag is the national flag of the United Kingdom. The flag combines aspects of three older national flags: the Red Cross of St. George for the Kingdom of England, the white saltire of St. Andrew for Scotland, and the red saltire of St. Patrick to represent Ireland. Now talking about the currency, the official currency of the United Kingdom is the pound sterling. It is the oldest currency in continuous use. Sterling is the fourth most traded currency in the foreign exchange market, after the United States dollar, the euro, and the Japanese yen. The United Kingdom has made significant contributions to the world economy, especially in technology and industry since World War II. However, the United Kingdom has made prominent exports just like the English language, now spoken in every corner of the world, as one of the leading commercial, financial, and economic exchange. Now moving on to the language, it is estimated that over 95% of the UK population are monolingual English speakers. There are various minority Celtic languages, and speakers of these are invariably bilingual English speakers. For example, in Scotland, 1.4% speak Scottish Gaelic as well as English. In Northern Ireland, 6.6% of the population are bilingual in Irish, Gaelic, and English. In Wales, 21% also speak Welsh. Welsh is the only Celtic language that enjoys official status. Now moving on to Scotland, Northern Ireland, and some borders areas of England, Scots is a distinct minority language, although at times it overlaps with Scottish English. Now talking about England. England is a country that is part of the United Kingdom. It shares land borders with Wales to its west and Scotland to its north. The Irish Sea lies northwest of England and the Celtic Sea to the southwest. England is separated from continental Europe by the North Sea to the east and the English Channel to the south. The country covers 5/8 of the island of Great Britain, which lies in the North Atlantic and includes over 100 smaller islands, such as the Isles of Scilly and the Isles of Wight. It is the largest country of the British Isles. The next one, which is Wales. Wales is bordered by England to the east, the Irish Sea to the north and west, and the Bristol Channel to the south. It occupies 9% of the UK. The small nation of Wales, which comprises 6 distinctive regions, was one of Celtic Europe's most prominent political and cultural centers, and it retains aspects of culture that are different from those of its English neighbours. Wales is largely mountainous with its higher peaks in the north and central areas. Now talking about Scotland. Occupying 34% of the UK, Scotland has 154 borders with England to the southeast and is otherwise surrounded by the Atlantic Ocean to the north and west, the North Sea to the northeast and the Irish Sea to the south. In addition, Scotland includes more than 790 islands, principally within the Northern Isles and the Hebrides archipelagos. Finally, Northern Ireland, constituting 5.8% of the UK. Northern Ireland occupies the northeastern portion of the island of Ireland. It is bordered on the northwest and south by the Republic of Ireland for 412 kilometers, and is separated from Scotland to its east by only 21 kilometers across the North Channel. Now moving on and talking about the geographical features. The first one we have is Brecon Beacons, located in Wales. The Brecon Beacons are a mountain range in South Wales in a narrow sense. The name refers to the range of old red sandstone peaks which lie to the south of Brecon. They include South Wales' highest mountain, Pen y Fan. The mountains, hills and valleys of the Brecon Beacons National Park have been molded by nearly 8 millennia of human activity. There is a rich agricultural tradition in and around the park and the region's one-of-a-kind towns. The second one we have is the Northwest Highlands, located in Scotland. The Northwest Highlands are located in the far north of the Scottish Highlands. The geopark area takes in around 2,000 square kilometers of mountain, peatland, beach, forest and rock coastlands with a population of just 2,000 people. It is characterized by the Lewisham Gneiss, which is the oldest rock in Scotland. Finally, we have the Pennines located in England. The Pennines are a range of mountains and hills in England. They separate northwest England from Yorkshire and northeast England. The region is widely considered to be one of the most scenic areas of the United Kingdom. The North Pennines and Nidderdale are designated areas of outstanding natural beauty, AONB. Parts of the Pennines are incorporated into the Peak District National Park and Yorkshire Dales National Park.
Now, regarding to the type of government of the United Kingdom, it is said that it is a monarchy in which the reigning monarch does not make any open political decisions in the country, which means that the only ones which can take decisions in the country are the government and the parliament. But what are the monarch's duties in this case? As the monarch is the Queen Elizabeth II, she has to do royal tours, she has to take care of charities, she has to visit different states, and she has to be the host for the different representatives who come to the country. Now let's talk about the history. The first historical event was started in 1300 to 1400 and was called the Plague or the Black Death. This sickness caused at least 200 million deaths in Europe and Eurasia. But what was the causing of this sickness? In this case, it is said that it was provoked by the fleas of the rats, because at that time Europe was known for the lack of hygiene. And what were the symptoms of this infection? It caused black spots in the skin that would eventually explode and provoked that the flesh and the blood get infected, cause infections in the body of people. Eventually, this infection would evolve into gangrene and the skin would get black and people would have a terrible way to die. In this way, the name Black Death was created due to the gangrene which caused the black skin in people. Now, another historical event was when William Shakespeare was born in 1564. This writer created at least 1,000 words in the English language. In addition, he created some expressions such as "for God's sake," "to break the ice," "love never runs smooth," and "the foregone conclusion." Another historical event was when Queen Victoria became queen in 1837. Some important facts about her is that as soon as the prince Albert died, she stopped appearing in public, which caused that the Republican part of UK, which caused that the Republican part of United Kingdom started to be strong. Sooner or later, she will appear again, and eventually she would recover her popularity. Another important fact about her is that she was called the Grandma of Europe due to she has 9 children, and these children had brought her at least 27 grandsons and granddaughters. Finally, she is remembered due to she had the longest reigning in Europe. But at the end, this record was broken by the Queen Elizabeth II, who nowadays has 65 years in the crown. And finally, one of the most recent historical events in UK is the invention of the system on internet called HTML. This invention started to be created in 1980 when Tim Berners-Lee identified that the system in internet had some issues to upload the pages. In this way, he started to work, and in 1989 he brought this system to CERN, the company in which he was working. However, they didn't accept his system, and even though he wasn't accepted, in 1991 CERN finally paid attention to him, and surprisingly, at the very beginning, only 27 pages were uploaded in this system. However, later they were 200, then 1000, and eventually they would become millions of pages created in this system. Finally, Tim Berners-Lee decided not to be paid by this system due to he thought that this had to be free for everybody. In this way, if it weren't for him, we wouldn't be able to have internet, at least free internet as we know it nowadays.
Stonehenge is a prehistoric monument in Wiltshire, England, 3 or 4 kilometers west of Amesbury, and it consists of a ring of standing stones, each around 4 meters high and weighed around 25 tons. Canterbury Cathedral. It was founded in 597. The cathedral was completely rebuilt between 1070 and 1077. The east end was greatly enlarged at the beginning of the 12th century and largely rebuilt in the Gothic style following a fire in 1174. Before the English Reformation, the cathedral was part of a Benedictine monastic community known as Christ Church, Canterbury, as well as being the seat of the Archbishop. Now, the Roman baths are a well-preserved therme in the city of Bath, Somerset, England. A temple was constructed on the site between 60 and 70 Common Era, in the first decades of Roman Britain. The Roman baths, designed for public bathing, were used until the end of Roman rule in Britain in the 5th century Common Era. Nowadays, it is a major tourist attraction in the UK. Also, visitors can tour the baths and museum, but they cannot enter the water. Okay, the next one is the beautiful Windsor Castle. The original castle was built in the 11th century after the Norman invasion of England by William the Conqueror. Since the time of Henry I, it has been used by the reigning monarch and is the longest occupied palace in Europe. The last one is Loch Ness, which is a large, deep and fresh loch in the Scottish Highlands. Loch Ness is best known for alleged sightings for cryptozoological Loch Ness monster, as also known as well as Nessie. Now, word words. Here we have some words taken from the United Kingdom. For example, the first one is tidy, which comes from Scotland, which means the ultimate seal of approval expressing one's appreciation for something. For example, that was some tidy scran. The second one is that's clean off, which means essentially meaning for something that's ridiculous or insane. That's clean off is the Welsh equivalent of the British "you're off your head." And the last one is any use, which means was it good? What about known features? The first one is the Beatles. The Beatles were an English rock band formed in Liverpool in 1960. The group, whose best known lineup comprised John Lennon, Paul McCartney, George Harrison, and Ringo Starr, are regarded as the most influential band of all time. Okay, the second one is fish and chips, which is a hot dish consisting of fried fish in batter served with chips. The dish originated in England and is an example of culinary fusion, combining Iberian and Jewish fried fish with Belgian fried potatoes. Also, fish and chips is a common takeaway in the United Kingdom. And the last one is sports. Here we have 5 sports which are the most iconic in the United Kingdom. The first one is football soccer. The most admitted story tells that the game was developed in England in the 12th century. The next one is rugby, is said to have originated at Rugby School, Warwickshire, England in 1823. During a game of football, William Webb Ellis picked up a ball and go with it. The next one is the sport of cricket, has a known history beginning in the late 16th century, having originated in southeast England, and it became the country's national sport in the 18th century. The next one is box. These matches were fought without gloves and for the most part without rules. There were no weight divisions, thus there was just one champion. Although boxing was quite illegal, it became popular. And the last one is golf. While the modern game of golf originated in 15th century Scotland, the game's Asian origins are unclear and much debated.
Now, making a comparison between Mexico and United Kingdom, the first one is that United Kingdom is well known for fish and chips, whereas Mexico is well known for tacos, tequila, mole, pozole, and many other dishes which are properly Mexican. Now, another big difference between United Kingdom and Mexico is that Mexico is a federal republic, whereas United Kingdom is a monarchy. In this way, in Mexico we have the opportunity to vote and decide for who we want to be the head of the government, whereas in UK, as soon as the monarch dies, some relatives have the opportunity to take the crown, and the decision is not taken completely by people. Another big difference between Mexico and United Kingdom is the climate. In this way, here in Mexico the climate can vary. For example, here it can be sunny and sometimes it can be raining due to the tropical climate, whereas in United Kingdom it is usually windy, sometimes rainy, and most of the time it is cold. Finally, the legal system in Mexico is based on the US law, which means that we have a legislative part which takes decisions and create laws, whereas in United Kingdom there is a common law system based on the Parliament Acts of the Human Rights of 1998.